Hey everyone, welcome to a very special and exciting edition of the Evangelion Rewatch podcast. You can now rewatch. Why is this episode so special, you might ask?
Because I'm right next to David.
Yeah, he made that sound really gay. We usually record over Skype. We've mentioned that before, and we're like 3 hours apart. But this time we're doing we happen to be in the same room.
Yep.
So imagine that. And I was gonna say something else, and it was I'm gonna say it in a minute. I forgot what I was gonna say. So we watched episode 8 of the show, and I hope you watched it too, so you're ready for this. Or man, I'm really. This is let's just. I'm gonna leave all that in.
Okay.
But 3, 2, 1. Hello, welcome to the Evangelion Rewatch podcast. You cannot rewatch. I'm David. This is Dylan. We're together. We're in a room. We watched episode 8, and we're going to be talking about it, so make sure you've watched episode 8, or at least are familiar enough with it to be ready to listen to us talk about it. So, Dylan.
Dude.
I wrote some notes down.
Mm-hmm.
The first note is, fuck Kensuke,
Right.
because he's all over the place in this episode.
He really is.
He's so weird.
He's almost like the character that just explains almost the war history of the show, and that's like his only purpose.
Pretty much. And yeah, he's just there to just kind of make notes about things.
Yep.
Like, Kaji shows up on a plane, and Kensuke's there to be like, oh yeah, the F-17 or whatever. It's like,
Right.
cool,
Right.
thanks Kensuke, appreciate it.
Exactly. That is his sole purpose.
But yeah, and obviously, he's there for some comic relief too.
Right.
But yeah, again, fuck Kensuke.
What if they released an Ava series that was everything through what he recorded on camera?
That would be cool, or just the series from his perspective.
Yeah.
Like, the way he sees everything.
Yeah.
Because he obviously looks at things differently.
Right.
Because he thinks like Avas are like toys and are just
Mhm.
fun, and he just wants to pilot them. So I'd really like to see the world through Kensuke's eyes. Maybe that'll be 4.0.
Oh, I hope so.
We never saw Kensuke in 3.0.
Sure.
I assume he's doing really well. Everybody
Yeah.
else seems to be doing pretty well in 3.0.
He's now the sole leader of Sailor.
Yeah, they're going to where the Lilamar or whatever. Maybe
Mhm.
Kensuke runs the place.
Probably so.
Yeah. Anyways, though, so let's talk about the episode we watched. So we arrive on a ship fleet location,
Mm-hmm.
and we find out that Asuka's unit is being transferred into Japan to Nerv HQ from Germany, I guess. And I'm not quite sure. I'm sure they mentioned it. I know we just watched the episode. Why did they bring a huge ship fleet to do this?
I'm assuming because it was the UN. One, I'm sure there was some sort of probably some procedure for them doing it, but also I think probably for angel attacks, even though they didn't do
It's
anything.
really weird because and maybe it's because they wanted to get rid of this one fast. But later in the
Right.
show, when they give Unit 4 or 5, whichever it is, I can't remember, for Toji to pilot, they just bring it on a plane.
That's true.
And it could be just because they wanted them gone after the
Yeah.
big explosion.
Right.
Not really sure, but anyways, yeah. For some reason, there's this big fleet doing it, and the captain is like a complete ass.
Yeah.
Like, I understand that he doesn't want, maybe he doesn't like Nerv. They're a different country. Maybe he doesn't respect him. But it made me wonder throughout this episode, have the other angel attacks have been public, right? People know about them. People have
Yeah.
probably seen footage. I mean, these are major events. I assume that if you are alive in the world, you've heard about these and probably seen footage from them. So it's really confusing to me why the pilot is so against Nerv and just you're not going to take over. And it's only in extreme dire, I spit everywhere, extreme dire circumstances that he finally relinquishes his power to Nerv. And it's have you not seen all the other
Right.
Ava
Well,
stuff?
even when they have the conversation first with Masato, she even kind of reminds him she's playing along with him, but then kind of just to let you know though, we are Nerv and we have total authority. So
Yeah, and I can understand why he wouldn't like that, but on the other hand, you've seen that angels are attacking the world. You are under attack from gigantic alien beings, and
Right.
Nerv is the only thing that has stopped them so far. And probably that the military has completely failed to stop them.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that information isn't public. I
Well,
assume it
The
is.
fact that he's still being reluctant, despite the fact that they're shooting torpedoes at the Angel and missing, and he's blowing up all the ships, and he's still not wanting to have them launch the Ava. I'm just at
Yeah.
that point, it's
You know
try
what?
anything.
Maybe one of our viewers can fill us in on this, because I just remembered in episode 3 when Kensuke and Toji are in the
Plug.
no, what's it called when you go somewhere when there's a bad thing happening?
What? What?
Oh,
the shelter?
yeah, shelter. That word. when they're in the emergency shelter, and they try to watch the news on Toji's little TV, it's like a media blackout.
Right.
They weren't broadcasting about the angel attacks. So maybe there is not full information available. Maybe if you live in Europe or wherever, you don't get the full facts. But on the other hand, Toji and them also knew about the Evas before that. They knew that an angel had attacked. So there must be some information getting out.
That guy's part of a captain on the UN. I would think that he probably wouldn't be blacked out from.
Yeah, really. On. Maybe he's just too old to understand
based off the episode we saw last week, too, I think that kind of showed that all other military organizations really hate Nerv.
That could be.
So he could just be really biased because he wastes so much money.
Yeah, that's true. They definitely do have a bad public eye. But on the other hand, I don't know. They're the only ones who have saved the world so far.
Yeah, true.
And while it's true that Nerv has some pretty dark ambitions,
right.
Is that really that apparent at this point?
I mean,
other than wasting money, in the eye of the public, what has Nerv done wrong at this stage?
Yeah,
true. I don't know. And I don't think they're not wasting that guy's money, right?
No.
So I don't know why he's that. If you were like the ambassador or something.
Yeah, he just really seemed like a guy who's like, this is my ship, my rules kind of thing.
Yeah. When we're on the seas, my law is the law. Anyway, so yeah, we get Asuka's introduction. There's some like panty and wiener jokes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a thing. Now, Misato and Asuka apparently have met each other because they recognize each other and say like, good to see you again, you got taller.
And more of her body grew as well.
Yeah, more of her body did grow. So I wonder what the story is for that. Because I mean, obviously she's been a pilot for a while. If she's gotten taller now and they like knew each other before.
Well, didn't her mom do something with?
Yeah, her mom did do something, but Asuka wouldn't have been a pilot then. I wonder what.
No, I'm just wondering if Masato would have known.
Oh, yeah,
that could be. Like, oh, now you're a pilot.
That could be. That makes sense. I bet you're right. So apparently, different topic. Apparently, the Boy Scouts are still around.
Yeah.
Although, to be fair, I don't remember this line in the dub at all. Oh, I should say, since we're here together, we watched the same episode. So Dylan did not watch the English dub. We both watched the English sub. And I don't remember this line in the dub, but somebody says a line about, like, I thought you were here with the Boy Scouts. And it's probably, like, meant to be a condescending line based on how that guy acts. But at the same time, are the Boy Scouts still around? Because the world ended.
That's pretty impressive if they are.
The apocalypse happened, essentially. I mean, what was it, like,
well, also
1 or 2/3 of the Earth's population was wiped out.
Also,
but the Boy Scouts are still
around. Does Japan have Boy Scouts?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. Because I'd never thought about it, but Boy Scouts are kind of an American thing. Like, being a Boy Scout is like being an American thing.
That's like the most American boy thing you could do.
Yeah, but, yeah, that's weird. I assume he was making a joke, but that joke had to be grounded in some kind of reality.
I wonder if the actual translation is something that makes sense for Japanese people.
That could be.
And the subtitles is translated to something.
Or it was nothing at all like that, and whoever translated the one we watched was just like, screw it. So, what else? So we find out in this one that Unit 2 is, according to Asuka anyways, the first true Evangelion. Right. Unit 0 was the prototype, and Unit 1 was the test model. Which is interesting, because why would you call 1 the test model? Wouldn't that be the first one?
Yeah.
So whoever picked the numbers for that got it wrong.
I guess, like, what would you call Unit 0 then? -1?
Yeah, -1. Or you could do, like, Unit 0.5.
Yeah, true. It's not as catchy.
But, yeah, that's interesting because
I guess they're just looking at the ways like Unit 1 and then Unit 2.0. Like 2.0 would be like the full-fledged thing, I guess. I don't know.
I guess, yeah, but usually your official product release would be 1.0.
That's true.
But I don't know, whatever. But yeah, I mean, she says that, but what's the difference? She says it's the first one fully prepared for combat.
I always take that kind of with a grain of salt of one of it's being like, this is the newer model, but also this might be Asuka kind of boasting more.
Yeah, I think that's mostly what it is, but I wonder if there is some kind of reality to that too. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't seem necessarily better equipped for combat than Unit 1. And obviously Unit 1 is important to Gendo's plan, but that's kind of for different reasons. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Unit 2 is actually supposed to be like, if you had like a stat chart for it, would it have like better combat skills or whatever? Yeah. I don't know. I guess we don't really talk much about Asuka yet. Mm-hmm. So we don't really get a full taste of Asuka yet in this first episode. I think it's really not until the teen episodes that we get more of like some depth to her character. She actually seems nicer in this episode than I remember.
Does, yeah.
Because like later later in the show, the version of Asuka we're going to see in like 10 episodes would never let Shinji get into the thing with her, let alone invite him in herself and let her wear her outfit and stuff.
I forgot that happened because it just seemed so uncharacteristic.
I remembered it happened, but yeah, it wasn't until I like resaw it that I realized like that really doesn't seem. Yeah, and maybe at this point, I don't know. I mean, she kind of goes through some stuff, I guess, but maybe at this point she's just trying to be more outgoing. Mm-hmm. I don't know, really.
Well, I also think this one is almost more showboaty because she did say, see how good of a skillful pilot I really am.
Yeah, but I mean, I would think that Asuka would be more of the person to be like, hey, you lose her weight here on the deck and just watch me take care of this all on my own.
Right.
At least that's what the Asuka we'll see in a few episodes would have done. But yeah, I guess I kind of forgot this. Asuka at this stage is kind of more nice. Mm-hmm. And definitely more flirty with Shinji, because that definitely changes too. But again, her character goes through some stuff, so I guess that's kind of why some of that might change. But yeah, other than that, her character we don't really get a good grasp of her character yet.
No.
Aside from a quick panty shot, so there's that. So Asuka and Shinji do get into a unit together, Unit 2, and they both wear Asuka's outfit. And then they go on like a killing spree.
Pretty much.
This episode really makes light of the fact that a lot of people surely died. I'm sure those ships that we see getting destroyed by the Angel weren't empty. I don't think they were running empty ships.
No.
Now, obviously the ones that they used in the later plan at the end of the episode were evacuated first, but none of the early ones had been evacuated. The Angel attack was out of nowhere. And they responded immediately with getting Unit 2 out. We see Unit 2 like jumping on ships, not only jumping on them, but when it lands on the ship, it makes it a target. And we see the Angel like going and attacking the ships that Unit 2 was on. So there's so many people that died because Asuka was jumping around on ships.
Pretty much.
And I mean, I assume also the fact that she was jumping on ships, because we see that it does kind of like crush some of the ships. Like people must have been crushed and squished.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know how many people died because they're jumping around and everyone's.
There's got to be a lot of people
cares.
on that ship. There's got to be a bunch of crews on those ships.
No one cares. No. It's no big deal. And then they make such a big deal about evacuating later.
Yeah.
It's like, you know how many people you already lost? At this point, just whatever.
Whatever. Let them die.
And then Asuka finally jumps on the main ship, I guess you could say, that everybody else is on. And then the Angel also lands on top of the ship, and their full weight is on the ship, and it somehow doesn't sink. I know that's a massive aircraft carrier, but that's a lot of weight.
Yeah.
It doesn't even like...
This is what... So the entry plug they plug in was on that ship, right?
Yeah.
Did they change the entry plug to a different ship, or did they move ships?
Well, it was on the ship they jumped to. It wasn't on the first ship that Unit 2 was on.
No, I know.
Or not the entry plug, the power unit.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was the one that Masato was on.
Yeah.
Did they change ships, or did they stay on that ship? Because that's the ship they bring underwater to shoot the cannons into the thing. Wouldn't that be on the same?
No, it's not.
Oh, it's not?
They sunk 2 of the other ships.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but eventually, so they get fished, I guess, and they come up with a genius plan of wasting a lot more money.
Yep.
This is why people hate Nerv. Also, when Asuka lands on the one ship, aside from all the people she's already killed and all the ships she already caused to be destroyed, when she lands on the one ship, it tips a little bit, and like thousands, probably millions and millions of dollars worth of planes and
easily
artillery fall into the ocean. So that's a waste. And then their grand plan, and I understand they need to survive and beat the Angel, so, what's money if you're going to do that? But their grand plan is to sink 2 more ships and destroy them.
Yep.
It works. Did they really need both? Couldn't they have done it with one?
Probably.
Misato never says why it's important to use both at that point. But, whatever. Also, time is weird in this episode. Like, they somehow have time to evacuate those ships. I don't know how many people of, like, crew members you would have on a ship that size. Probably several hundred, even running at low capacity. Those are huge ships. And they had time to evacuate them all while Asuka and Shinji are, like, stuck in a monster's mouth underwater. How long was that monster swimming around? Wouldn't it have, like, reattacked at that point?
I wouldn't think so. Or at least, like, I don't know. Yeah, it just seems weird.
I think we're being too critical. I think it's just supposed to be whatever. But anyway, so when they are underwater and they're, like, getting towed around, we see, like, there's, like, a city underwater.
Yeah.
Which is pretty
really
interesting.
Cool.
I don't know if we ever find out what that city is. I'm sure it's somewhere, that information's somewhere. But, I mean, I would say pretty obviously that's a city that probably got flooded during Second Impact.
Yep.
Since, like, Antarctica, like, melted and, like, all the world flooded or whatever. except for Tokyo. I don't know how Japan did not flood. It's like a little tiny island.
Yeah.
I don't know. You think like a tsunami would have like destroyed it.
Yeah.
But whatever. Maybe Tokyo 3 isn't even in Japan. It's in like the middle of Africa.
Yeah. They just moved all the countries inland.
But we see Kaji decides he's gonna leave, which at the time maybe seems like he's kind of being a coward, but we find out later that there's more of a reason for him.
He really
doing
did
that.
have something to deliver.
We also see that he is in an airplane that takes off backwards.
Yep.
I know that this is a show about giant robots, but last I checked, airplanes cannot take off backwards. What? I mean, they should have just made it a helicopter. I don't know why they.
Yeah, why just make it?
plane.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, but whatever. So yeah, again, so we see that Kaji was carrying Adam, which I guess really is what this big convoy was probably about. Although no, it couldn't have been because the UN didn't know that Adam was being transported. That was a secret thing, so it was just for Unit 2. But that's definitely why Kaji is there. This is his way to get Adam to smuggle it into the country under the guise of he's going with Unit 2. Not sure where Kaji got Adam or if we ever find that out. Where would Adam have been? Adam was at the South Pole when they discovered the giant big hole in the ground, or I don't know. There's a term for it. I can't think of it.
I thought they explained it, but I mean, you've seen the series more than I have, so maybe they.
Yeah, I can't remember. I don't know if they ever do specifically say where Kaji got Adam. I assume it would have to be retrieved there in the Antarctic. But I guess maybe I don't know. Adam definitely looks different at this point.
Yeah.
There's also something interesting. Gendo tells Kaji that this is Adam, the first human being. I assume Gendo knows what's up, so I guess he's lying to Kaji because Adam isn't the first human being. Adam is the first angel. Lilith would be technically the first human being. So there's definitely some. I think Gendo is probably trying to give Kaji misinformation because later on, Kaji thinks that Lilith is Adam, and I guess Gendo made it get bigger because when Kaji later on shows Misato, hey, look at this big thing you got hiding under Nerv, he's like, this is Adam, and it's not. It's Lilith. So I guess he thinks that Gendo like restored Adam into a form. I don't know. Kaji definitely. I think he's been lied to. I think Gendo probably knows like Kaji's kind of triple triple agenting stuff. So he's like trying to give him misinformation and stuff. But yeah, we can get more to that later. That's getting a little ahead of ourselves. What else? That's all I had on my notes. But there was something I thought of that I wanted to say a second ago. I forgot about it. I guess we see Kaji and Misato obviously had some kind of relationship.
Right.
By the way, I really like Kaji.
Me too. Kaji's a really cool character.
One of my favorite characters in the show. He's not necessarily as emotionally deep as some of the other characters, but I just think he's really interesting. He's got like that Han Solo thing to him.
He does.
Where he's like kind of a bad guy, but he's trying to do the good things, but he's just got like this cockiness to him. I don't know. He's just a cool character.
I kind of like him too because he almost takes up a more, kind of gives Shinji a more masculine role model, like to look up to in that way, which I think is something Shinji really was kind of looking for and respects more, in a way when Kaji tries to give him advice and whatnot. That's
true. Yeah.
It's like it's important for Shinji when Shinji meets him.
That's true, and Shinji definitely needs some good advice because he doesn't have the best dad.
No, exactly.
He can't really go to his dad for problems.
Exactly, he can't go to his dad, and he doesn't exactly think very highly of Misato because she's so messy all the time and stuff like that. So.
Right. Yeah. I mean, he definitely thinks she's pretty childish, and also, I mean, Shinji's not the kind of person that could open up to somebody like that.
Right.
Because Shinji doesn't even really open up to Kaji. Kaji just kind of tells him stuff.
So it's like Kaji knows what's up, can kind of tell, and just gives him the advice.
Yeah. Kaji's like Mr. Feeney.
Yes. He's Mr. Feeney.
Little Boy Meets World reference for everybody out there. The other great show of the 90s, other than Evangelion.
Some say the American Evangelion,
really. Yeah. Someone even goes as far to claim that Evangelion ripped off Boy Meets World.
I think so.
Yeah. What else happened in this episode? Not really much else. Cool episode.
It's a cool episode. I like this episode.
Now we finally got Asuka around, so we get another character to
the trio's complete.
Talk about. Yep, the trio's complete. We got Shinji, we got Asuka, and we got Kensuke. All the major characters. Ray's not in this episode at all.
No.
She wasn't in the last episode either.
No, she wasn't.
I think our viewer Vato is pointing this out too. Like after Anno did like the Ray arc, those 2 episodes, you kind of didn't know what to do with her. So I think that's kind of why I think that's what Vato said. Like that's kind of why you don't really see Rey for a couple episodes because you're like, I don't know, it doesn't make sense for her to be on the boat.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense for her to stop Jet alone. So, yeah, she's kind of AFK at the moment.
Mm-hmm. It makes sense for Shinji's friends to be on the boat and not her.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, I'm not entirely sure why Misato brought them along.
I'm sure
Like,
just for
from a writing perspective, I understand it. So
Yeah.
Kensuke can explain things to people
Right.
and be weird and like comic relief and stuff. But really, from like a story perspective, it doesn't make a lot of sense for them to be there.
I mean, they explain it better in 2.0 why they're on the ship, but
When they go to the aquarium?
yeah,
Yeah.
because more like a field trip type thingy. But this one's just like I don't know why they're here.
Yeah, well, I think they bring that up in 2.0 as well because in the show they were going to go to the aquarium, and actually his friends do. And Shinji and Asuka and Rei have to stay back.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's why they put it in 2.0. They kind of wanted to like give you that scene. Plus 2.0 is trying to be all happy.
Mm-hmm.
It's the calm before the storm. Yeah. I don't really have much else. Usually we have some comments to read, but we're actually because we're doing this when we're together. We're recording this one earlier than usual, so we haven't got any comments on that. We just posted the other one, so we haven't really had time to get any comments on it. So sorry if you're commenting on episode 7. Episode 7. Then we'll get to them next week on episode 9. We haven't really had added any stuff yet. So I guess this one's going to be kind of short, since we don't have any comments, we don't really have anything else to discuss.
I mean, I think we pretty much covered everything that's important in
Yeah.
this one too.
I think so too. Yeah, so I guess we'll just wrap it up. Sorry, this one's going to be a little short again. Last one was short too. But I think next one will end up being a little bit longer. What's the next episode? Episode 9.
It'd be an Angel because these.
Yeah,
ones are Angels.
this is when we get an Angel episode. But I kind of get mixed up on the order.
This is the first Marine and only Marine Angel we have, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think we ever get another one in the water. No, I don't think so. We get one in lava pretty soon.
Yeah, we do.
I think that's episode 10.
10.
So maybe next one. I don't know. It's gonna be. We don't find out. No one needs to listen to us guess. So we'll just wrap it up. So thanks for listening, everybody. If you want to follow us for updates, you can follow our Twitter at The Wet Rats. You can subscribe to us on YouTube if you're not already. YouTube.com/TheWetRats. But we do make other videos, so the usual stuff. Subscribe on iTunes if you don't want to see that other stuff. You can also follow our RSS feed. All the links for all that is in our YouTube description. And the email address that you can email us if you want to leave comments that way is also in the YouTube description. Or if you're listening on iTunes and you don't have YouTube open, it is TheDavidMaher@gmail.com. That's me, the David Mayer, my personal email. So,
Spam him a lot.
Spam me a lot. Sign me up for stuff. Sign me up for like hotdogs.com or something. See you guys. Make sure you watch episode 9 before listening to the next one, or at least brush up on your knowledge. And we'll see you in a week.
Later, guys.